He's being choked out by a gross... What is that thing? What is it? What is it? Take the laser. At least it'd be cauterized instantly. Hey guys, it's your girl Aisha, aka Geek XX Chic, and we are back with another reaction to The Boys. We're now onto episode 4 of season 4, which is called Wisdom of the Ages. So last episode was, as usual, a bit crazy, but I think the biggest thing we saw is that Ryan might be moving over to back to Billy's side, which I think is a good thing. There's cracks between the relationship with him and Homelander, and Billy almost made a really, really big mistake by trying to drug Ryan, but thankfully he made the right decision and just decided to try to bring him over. Though we discovered that the CIA is looking to recover Ryan and train him as basically a weapon against his father, and that if Ryan does not agree to come willingly, then they're going to have to find a way to take him out. So that puts Billy in a bit of a precarious position. And things are just still messed up with Frenchie and Kumiko both as far as their past and their decisions and how it's affecting the current. And then we saw some interesting moments there towards the end with Sage and the Deep. Like, that might be a thing, it might not. Thank you. I noticed on the internet someone said the tool that we saw on the table was a lobotomy tool. So I have a sneaking suspicion that maybe she gives herself lobotomies to try to stop thinking all the time. But because of her, you know, being what she is, being a soup, it just fixes itself. I don't know. But that's also something interesting. And then we ended the episode with Homelander basically breaking down even more than usual, but saying that he needs to go back to the beginning in order to find a way to finally squash his humanity. So who knows where this episode's going to go? That's the great thing with the show. You just never know. So I'm ready to jump in. But just before I do, a reminder that if you'd like to be in the know of what's going on with my episodes, when I drop them, all that good stuff, please go ahead, hit that subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you can be in the know. All right, that out of the way, let's get into the episode right now.
The security cameras upstairs just went black. Hey, Phil, you copy? Phil.
Yeah, see, if that happened when I knew there's soups around, I'd leave. Although it's probably already too late for you.
The line's dead.
How long ago is this? Who still uses landlines? Why would you all approach the... I mean, never mind. You're all down there like rats in a cage anyway.
John? Homelander. Just Homelander.
Okay.
I still remember when they had you wiping out the stool sample containers. You remember? Yeah.
Just laugh. I don't know.
All right, everyone, dig in.
I would need it.
Please, come on in.
Exactly. This guy's like, I remember that you used to take out all the women who were your nannies, so no. I don't trust anything you've brought. So the way it works, Billy, is you need to be under the water. I know this might be a foreign concept, but under the water. Under the water. The hell? Is that real? Or is he imagining that? Oh!
Come on, get up. Butcher, the world doesn't end just because your shitty life does.
Damn.
Get up.
At least you didn't fall in that tub. You could have drowned.
I'm sorry, your father's condition meets the criteria for brain death.
Might not seem like it, but it is the most humane thing.
Humane? You're pulling his feeding tube so he starves to death, right?
DNR.
Huh. Don't.
Those are his wishes. Those are his wishes. Then that's why he had your mom be the power of attorney. He probably knew you wouldn't be able to do it. I hope I'm never in that position, but I understand why some people choose to do that. Like, if there's no, oh, don't put V in there. Don't do it, Huey. I know what you're thinking. Don't do it. He's going to put V in there.
And get an exclusive sneak peek of Training Agent.
Tonight, 8/7.
Oh, God, Will
To their
Ferrell.
bloody campus rampage, Marie Monroe and the other...
Not the whole reference.
What do you get for this?
Just a promise. Promise me you'll finish what you started. Once and for all. We put Vought into the ground.
Oh, I don't think it's ever that simple. Vought is like a hydra. There's so many different heads waiting to pop up. Frenchie, you are a mess. A total mess.
My dad used to play this all the time in the car. Fall asleep to it in the back seat.
Huh.
You never.
Frenchie, don't do this. Don't do this.
Your family.
Wow. You're just going to make it so that he absolutely hates you, huh? I mean, he's going to anyway, but...
All I saw was his ankle. He had these scars, all these burns, maybe.
Now you cover it? You are so dumb, Frenchie. I'm sorry, but you are so dumb for this.
Breakfast?
And you got this man cooking for you. Wow. If he beats your ass, you deserve every last part of it, Frenchie. Because this was not necessary. None of it. But honestly, going back for thirds.
Heroes, you have your talking points. So everyone get to it.
Hey, so I was thinking over lunch we could order some of those.
She's already forgotten you.
Or just skip straight to the Flounder Pounder special.
Wow.
I find you repulsive in a way that's difficult to quantify. And I'm fucking amazing at quantifying. So.
Sorry, her brain healed.
You know, when I first met you, I thought you were kind of uppity, but...
Subtle racism again, thanks.
We are the new kids in the 7. Mm-hmm. Gotta look out for each other.
What are you up to, sister?
Firecracker celebrity friends are arriving. Such a void.
Wow.
That shit Homeland and Sage are talking about, that's some end of time shit. Team has shot one total asshole, and we need this motherfucker. Annie, this is my call. It's done.
How the tune has changed. Frenchie's never going to take a stand, so bless him.
Now, can someone please explain to me what makes you Firecracker's maybe come?
Yeah, should we go into that backstory, Starlight?
Bollocks.
Exactly. Let's come clean. It's going to come out. All right, wait for it to come out. This is why I'm saying Starlight she may still be the bully just a little bit. The show! It's too much.
You win, I'll let you knock off early and go see the fam.
Okay. Excellent.
What happens if I lose? Wait, what happens if I lose? See, other people who actually know him are immediately tense in his presence. Y'all should be taking note of this, because they know what he's like.
And, well, I was in this oven here, and you made the shot. You did a little fist pump to celebrate, and then you turned up the temperature to see if you could burn my skin. You remember that, right?
You're all going to be so... Even the newbies, though? The newbies didn't do anything.
Yeah, I was in there, screaming in agony. My tears just sizzled away.
That does suck. Wow.
But behind him, I saw you make that shot. It really was a great shot, Frank.
I was just doing my job.
Not the right answer, Frank. I'm sorry. Even though he won't believe you.
Hey, Frank.
You're gonna die
This is my
now.
last shot. Why don't you go and watch from in there?
John, why don't we...
Homelander.
You're all gonna die. It's too late. As soon as he came down there with cut cameras and phones, you should have known it was over.
Get in the oven or your family goes in with you.
Please, Homelander, you don't have to
Marty.
do this.
So you don't get for eating that cake. I would have said that I was intolerant to whatever was in it.
I'm so sorry.
Now you say you're sorry?
Sorry?
You should have started with that.
Now?
Yeah, exactly. Well, the good news is you won't last long. He's going to do all of that, and he's still not going to feel better.
I forgive you.
You don't. See, it was quick-ish. And at least you were kind of old. I don't know. I don't feel bad, honestly, because if you sit back and watched a kid, even if he was a soup, get tortured and were unbothered by it, I got to agree with Homelander on this one. And I hate saying those words.
I owe you? I just saved your fucking life.
Every single fucked up, horrible thing that's ever happened to me, to all of us, it all started with you. Because you took away someone I loved. Now you're gonna give someone I love back. What?
The V may not work, Huey. It really may not.
What makes you think I give a shit?
Because you're still here.
If I do this, we're good.
Like, that really has to be it.
I'm sorry, but it's my dad. What else was I supposed to do?
Exactly. Respect his wishes.
Who the fuck are those guys?
Oh, they're here for you.
I can't my ankle.
It's like, well, you could stay here and get shot. I mean, the ingenuity is actually very admirable. I'm liking it. How did this segue even happen? I can't. Oh wow, off key too. That's about right. Oh wow, that's never gonna heal.
You ever gonna tell me what happened with that gash on your face?
What is in his back? I need to know.
Emma got a favour to ask.
You're in the position to ask for a favor?
Kind of. I'm dying.
White trash walking.
He met that lovely 15-year-old boy who tickled your fancy and then tickled more than that, didn't he?
Damn.
I hit this little tweet button there.
And you know you're all about the fame.
How about I just send it myself?
Well, I mean, at this point, she does have the Seven's protection. They'll have it deleted in a few hours, and she's probably just going to say it's a deep fake. Too bad.
The moment of my greatest weakness was also the moment that pushed me to my eternal salvation.
See the way she turns it around. This honestly is going to work because she's exactly what that group expects to be.
Our Lord Jesus Christ put that young man in my life to lead me to the path of righteousness.
Exactly. I like, how are you not literally vomiting on the floor right now?
Is that she landed one of those hostages that day, a mother of 3.
My crunch berries.
She just went on.
I mean, this is so sad because this is the truth of like all the heroes. All of them can talk about collateral damage all day. Maybe you should come clean, Starlight.
I was still learning how to control my powers.
Oh, great. We're going to have a panic attack right now? Annie, come on. Seriously, there's not a single soup that hasn't had collateral damage. No, I feel like Annie needs to do the exact same thing. I mean, the reality is that they're both white women who, like, Annie is like even more what that demographic looks for, being blonde and blue-eyed. Like, she could definitely turn this narrative around the same way. Like, take pointers if she's going to play this game. Yeah, I blinded someone. I was 13. I was learning my powers, get the tears. Like, my point is, she could spin this as well, but I know that's not really her style. But it should be, or at least maybe she needs it to be if she really wants to play the game at this level. Don't. Put it back. Milk. Yes, it's milk. Put it back. Just go. Why don't.
A-Train.
Ah!
What the hell are you doing in here?
Better question.
You left a floater in his toilet?
That was there when I got here.
That's what you get for taking advice from your sub.
Looks like we both have a problem.
We're both gonna be quiet, aren't we? All these people stuck while we have to sit there and go through this man's mental breakdown. Whew! I don't feel sorry for these people, though, honestly.
Thank you. You were always one of the kinder ones.
That's right, John.
Stop calling him John.
Friends, I was always nice to you.
Were you?
Right.
Were you?
Sure.
Most. There we go. See?
Squirt. You called me Squirt, silly.
Something tells me it's not in a kind way.
I used to be left in there for hours, days on end, completely alone. Right? Only Big Brother was always watching.
Expect the unexpected.
Growing boys have certain needs.
Oh, God. I don't think I want to know where this is leading.
I couldn't get finished in time. And you caught me with my pants down. You had a really, really good laugh at me.
Okay. If that's the worst, it's still wrong, but whew, I thought it was going to get a lot worse.
You really hurt my feelings.
Apologize first. It won't work, but.
Very sorry.
Oh God, you're not gonna make him. You're not gonna make him, are you? Please.
I do want you to jerk off in front of us.
Damn, I knew
right
it was
now.
coming.
Hey, guys, come on over here.
We really don't want to see it. That's actually sexual harassment for the females. I mean, if that's the worst he's gonna make you do, it's better than burning to death. He's not joking. He's not joking. He just burned a man. You think he's joking?
Marty, it looks like you're shucking a little mushroom. Oh, that's
Sorry.
weird.
His laugh is actually funnier than this scene.
You get hard right now, or I'm gonna laser your dick off.
Take the laser. Take the laser. At least it'd be cauterized instantly.
Your life is literally in your hand.
This isn't funny. This is not funny.
More spit, Marty. More spit. That'll work.
He's gonna laser it off anyway.
Happens to a lot of guys. Truly. Not me.
As if it does. Told you he was gonna do it anyway. Told you just should have asked for it in the beginning.
Whoa, you're getting dick blood on my boots, Marty.
No, that's femoral artery blood.
Please put him out of his misery. It's more comfortable in my office.
Nope, he's gonna do it in that room. Ow. She'll be fine. That's an artery. Have some coffee. Wow, the shield turned out to be a really good thing. Look at Kumiko thinking ahead. Oh God, yeah. Well, you kind of. Told you gotta mean it. There you go, Huey. I don't know. I shouldn't be proud of this, but good for you, because Kumiko really needs a minute, you know? No, I don't think she does.
家族から引き離してあのトランクに押し込んだこと。キャン
You
プに
helped.
放り込んで闘技場に引きずり出したこと。死ぬか、どっちかだって。後に残されたのはこれだけ。お前なんか大嫌い。
Fair. I'm sorry. I know it's a bit shallow, but it's a start. Sorry. I mean, she didn't hurt you this time. Twice she let you go. Hopefully that means something. So did she not get V too? I'm assuming not.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Bienvenue. Qu'est-ce que tu fais?
And she had an abortion. Are those my fucking medical records?
She was raised a Christian.
That was Huey's. That was Huey's.
They're safe with her. With that baby killer?
And he's about to do something crazy.
Finally came to
I mean, I hope you were prepared to fight. I really hope you were prepared to fight, sis. Oh, Frenchie. This parallel, poor Frenchie getting his ass whooped at the same time. Oh, does it not snap back? Prepared to die?
Get up. Billy,
How?
get up.
He's being choked out by a gross... What is that thing? What is it? What is it?
Get up.
Is he actually dying or is he mutating? Huh? Did it come out? What happened? Oh, you exploded him. Whatever it was, exploded him. There's nothing left of this bro. Amen to that.
What the fuck happened?
Exactly.
Get the fuck out of there.
Okay, so maybe Billy isn't dying. Maybe his body is transforming somehow. The black mass. I bet you if they x-rayed him now, it's gone.
Not one of them had the backbone to stand up and say, this is wrong.
That is true.
But you lasered her guts open from the inside. You rose in the air with your umbilical cord still attached like some creature out of myth. You killed 3 doctors and a nurse while you were at it, and then, just trust me, it was downhill from there. So yeah, everybody was terrified.
How was that his fault? You manufactured him.
You could have broken out of here anytime you wanted. We couldn't have stopped you, but you didn't.
That part is probably true.
Because you couldn't stand the idea that we would be disappointed in you.
She went to the Edgar School.
You developed the protocol to carefully engineer that need so that you would be obedient.
I don't need any of it anymore.
Sure.
You know, I really do want to share with you why I called this the bad room.
Because you took out so many of your nannies there?
Colleen, please. All right, I gotta get you up. Colleen, boom, please stop! Stop being so fucking nice to me.
No, don't do that, Frenchie, because you're the one who was quite literally all up on him multiple times.
It was you?
'Twas him?
I'm sorry.
Sorry, okay. Deserved. But this is what he wanted.
Come on. Do it.
And that's exactly why he won't. You don't deserve it. And also, you don't deserve to be a murderer, sir.
If you come near me again, I'll fucking kill you.
Oh, you're such a mess, Frenchie. You're such a mess. But I agree. You don't deserve to die. If you're really sorry, live with this. Make amends.
Most people, their brains grow till they're about 25, then stop forever. Mine doesn't. It regenerates constantly. You stab me in the heart, I die. Stab me in the brain, and the little fucking bitch grows back.
So she was lobotomizing herself.
I want you to put this inside me.
Excuse me?
You give me a frontal lobotomy, and I don't have to fucking be me for a couple hours.
I was right.
Fucking gross.
I'll let you ass fuck me while we watch the Kim and Ray J video.
Okay, so where do you want me to put it? Just right there? Sit down. The hammer. Fuck.
Tap, tap.
Oh God. I'm absolutely horrified that this actually used to happen to people. Like, this is a real thing they used to do to people. That's right up there with one of the grossest things I've ever seen. I cannot believe they played that song. Okay, wow. So much to take in with this show on a regular basis. Yeah, if there's a group that's not going to judge you for that, it's the ones in here. But yeah, now we need to have this little conversation. Maybe we don't.
Agonized. And you know I did. I just wasn't ready.
I know, neither was I.
And now when people look at me, whether they're supportive or judging or angry,
It's none of their business.
I have to relive it over and over and over again. And my mom, I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't bring back all the Republican votes you just torched. I can't be affiliated with you anymore.
Sorry, sweetie. This is what happens when you have a super brain that you're going up against. It's a completely different battle. Completely different battleground.
You're right. I was gonna tell you to go fuck yourself, but I changed my mind.
Guess that means that A-Train really is changing. Hugh's got a pretty good gut barometer for people.
Look, you're probably the only guy that would understand, but I was gonna give it to my dad. Look, I know it's insane and terrible, but what other choice do I have?
Any other fucking choice you twat.
Like respecting your dad's wishes.
Nicked it out of Frenchie's desk 4 months ago. Thought it might kill me.
Jesus. To have powers?
All it did was bring up the big day. I'm telling you, quit while you're behind. You'll only make matters worse.
Yeah, you don't know how that's going to work on your dad at all. At all. He could be stuck with a damaged brain forever. So that is why there's a snake in your back. You do have powers. But because you had the tumor, you messed things up too. So my theory might be right. I know it sucks, Huey. I can only imagine how much that sucks, but he asked to be left. Good man. Just spend time with him. Say what you need to say.
No.
We're not that close yet. We're just not that close yet. Why does she look so shady right now? She did it? She did it? Did she swipe it out of his pocket? She sat behind him. I knew she looked shady when he left. This show's ability to just throw on the strangest music after utterly and completely like disturbing you should be studied. Honestly, the people who work on this show, not a one is sane. Not one. Oh my gosh. Wow. Okay. Well, that was disturbing as usual, but definitely more of a psychological episode than not. More of these past issues coming back to haunt, to destroy, to show that we can't run from certain things that have happened. And while the past can't be changed, if you don't deal with it, whether it's rectifying wrongs if you can, or at least making peace with it, or literally just confronting it, it will never stop coming up. Like it never will. It never will. I feel like that's definitely the theme of this episode for pretty much everybody except for Billy. So let's go, we'll talk about Starlight, I guess, because she was a big part of this episode. We saw in the last one that she discovered why, what's her name, Sparkler or whatever, was, why she hated her, why she was targeting her. And we saw that Billy knew that there was a particular reason, because this woman had been on Starlight since long before she became part of the Seven. But Starlight wasn't ready to admit that. She still is kind of hiding behind her excuses. And in the last episode, I talked a lot about how part of genuinely moving past and growing past something is acknowledging the wrongs, like being fully accountable for it. And I still don't think that Starlight has done that. And again, I already took into account that her mom was a big factor in that, her environment. And again, I realized she was also a child. However, she still knew right from wrong, hence why she has the shame about it now. And so for her to take the true, real accountability, she needs to admit what she did. Like, that's the bottom line. It comes down to her being like, yeah, no, I did do this. I know it was wrong and I did it anyways. And so until she does that and kind of comes clean with that, this, you know, there's always going to be dirt that can be pulled up on her, right? Because when you really get to a point where you've accepted all of your past and your faults, then even if people bring it up and it can be hurtful and embarrassing, you'll be able to own it. Now, I'm not talking about the medical records thing, by the way. I'm coming to that. But I just mean like what she did, what she said, the way she treated her. One of the biggest things Starlight could do to take the venom out of that would have been to go public and to her people and say, listen, with Sparkler, when I was 13 years old, this is what I did. It was horrible. I was a bully back then. I didn't know better, but I do now. I recognize that was wrong behavior and I'm trying my best to make amends. Like if she did that, that would, first of all, would have hurt the other girl, because they would have been like, oh, so this is just a long-term vendetta for you. But it would have made Starlight look like the bigger person, and she would have been the bigger person if that was truly the way she was feeling. But there is still a part of her that I think is that pageant girl. She's still that pageant princess who's not quite ready to let go of the idea that she's, you know, of the image that's out there, right? Because she is a good person, but no good person in this planet has done everything right. Like every person out there, no matter how good they might be overall, there's things that they've done, wrong decisions. They might have hurt someone intentionally or unintentionally. They might have made mistakes, big or small ones. Again, I don't think that a person is the sum of their worst moments. It's really like a collection of the decisions that you make. And I do think that Annie has done her best to be good and make good decisions for the majority of her life, but they weren't all good. She did make some decisions that weren't so good. She did hurt some people, in this case intentionally. So again, if she's really past that, if she's really the better person now, that means accepting that she did those things and recognizing that the hurt that she caused, the ripple effect of that hurt is valid, even if it's not right. And that she just needs to acknowledge that, own up to it, and then move forward. But yeah, I think she's still dealing with a lot of that. And again, in this world of Supes, where Supes are given passes for so much, it's understandable that she's having a hard time dealing with that part of her life, just like most of the Supes that have been growing up in this world have been, right? Vought's covered up so much. Vought does so much to keep the Supes' image in a certain way. It absolutely teaches them at a very young age that reputation and perception is everything, right? Even though it's clearly not. So it sucked. And obviously the exposure of what she did, having, her abortion, which is a very personal decision that she made. I wasn't sure if she told Huey or not, pardon me. I'm glad to know that the two of them, were aware of that it's not something that Huey was finding out on the news. But anyway, Huey in the news. Anyway, but all the same, like she said, it's extremely painful decision. Most women who have to go through that, they have their reasons. Like, no matter what your belief system is on whether it's wrong or right, it is a very personal decision, and it's something that's usually very hard and emotionally grueling for the woman that's going through it. And the last thing that they need are people who don't know who they are, what their situation is, etc., making judgments, or again, causing them to have to relive what could be, for some of them, the most painful experience of their life. So yeah, it sucks now that that's what she's going to have attached to her name going forward. And especially because of where she came from, her background, she knows that there's also additional pressures and issues, right? We know that she comes from a very traditional, what's the word I'm looking for? Very traditional, very conservative background. So she knew, like we heard, her mom isn't even talking to her right now. So it's just sucks. It sucks that this happened to her. And as usual, The Boys always puts a bit of a mirror in this show to the real world and how things are handled. And as I said, like, no matter what your belief systems are on that particular topic or a lot of other personal topics like that, the understanding, just having general empathy for the fact that anyone who's going through it is going through it, and just respecting that it's not for you to have the right to go and impose your thoughts and your feelings on that person, So anyways, I feel for Annie. I understand why she lost it. I mean, that woman was asking for an ass whooping regardless, for many reasons outside of that. But of course, that snapping was bad. Our brainiac Sage knew that this was going to be something that would likely trigger Annie to the point of doing something physical. And that's what she did. And of course, it made her look bad. It lost her a lot of ground with the people who would have supported her. And we heard that bill that they were trying to get passed at Congress. Now it's looking like it's not going to get passed. I mean, we already know that Homelander was going to probably lose it if they tried to anyway. So unfortunately, that put them back quite a bit. So her coming back as Starlight, I think that whole campaign now we can effectively say is done. It's not going to work the way she wanted it to. That image of hers now has been cracked. But let's be real, Annie didn't really want that image anyway. So I don't think it's necessarily the end in a way. Like, I think it's the end of Starlight, but that's what Annie wanted anyway. She never wanted to be Starlight. She never wanted Vaught's ideals to still exist. So I still think this leaves room for Annie, the real Annie, to re-emerge as her own person with her own message. But we're going to need some time, obviously, for Annie to kind of heal and simmer out of this, of course, before that happens. As for Huey, trying to accept the fact that he was supposed to lose his dad, we see that he didn't want to do that. He knew that giving him V, there was a good chance his dad would survive. We know that V will heal up whatever's in the body. But as I said, I don't know, like Temp V, we know like it hurt people. There were so many side effects. Giving V to people as well when they are already sick or there's a lot of brain damage, like there's just so many ifs here that I don't think Huey's thought through. Like, yeah, his dad woke up, but what condition is he really going to be in? Is he going to be awake now and okay? Or is there going to be something where his brain is going to be stuck in this place? Like, there's just too many factors and too many risks. And I'm glad that Billy's speech to him got through to him as far as like, don't do it. Because Billy was saying he took it and it didn't work out the way that he thought. And like I said, I think there might be something to my theory because Billy took it. His brain already had the mass when he took the V, and it looks like it did probably slow his body down from some of the other things, but he's still hallucinating. He's still getting headaches. And now there's some weird ass thing growing in his back. Like, I'm feeling like maybe it somehow animated his mass. I don't know. The point is he's not okay. He's not right as rain anymore. So I think taking V when you're not already a healthy person or relatively healthy person could have really bad side effects. And I also think taking it later in life is probably not a good thing either. Like, this is why I feel like there's something that's not going to go right with Victoria's daughter either. The fact that she gave it to her so late, I think is going to be a problem. But anyways, we're going to have to wait and see. But yeah, we see that it looks like Huey's mom, she's a little thief. She did that back hug for Huey, and I think she stole the V out of his pocket and she put it in the IV because she doesn't want, I don't know if she's doing it for Huey, I don't know, but we'll have to see what happens. We'll have to see what happens. If his dad does turn out to be a soup, that could be quite interesting in so many ways. But anyhow, so that's Huey. Outside of that, he went with Kumiko to, Kumiko accompanied him, to go get the V from A-Train. And we see that she bumped into the girl again that she saw from last episode. We now know what the history is. Unfortunately, when Kumiko was part of the Shining Sun, she wasn't just a victim. She was also, unfortunately, helping them. But I'm not going to come down on her too hard for that because, yeah, like we already know how the cycle of being in these types of situations can go. She was clearly groomed into it. And unfortunately, she did things most likely under threat of her, her brother being hurt. So I'm not going to put too much blame on her for that, but all the same, she knows what she did was wrong. And I think she understands why this girl hates her, but this is why I don't think she's ever going to be the one to take her out, or she's going to try not to do that because she recognizes this girl has every reason to hate her, but there's not much that she can do about it at this point. But now we're starting to get more and more understanding as to why it's not just what she went through, it's all the things that she also had to do as she was part of this cult. So yeah, more and more puzzle pieces coming into why Kumiko has all this trauma and why she's still refusing to talk and refusing to do what she needs to open up the pathways to talk, unfortunately. So that was sad, but hopefully she won't give up entirely. And then speaking of A-Train, Huey saying that he's kind of done hating A-Train. As I said in the episode, when someone is truly sorry or has truly started to turn over a new leaf, not a new life, it is very hard to maintain that type of visceral anger. Like as humans, especially if you are like a person who's fairly normal, it's not in us. Like we very much go off of energy, even though we may not always like consciously recognize that we very much respond to energy. And when, Huey first interacted with A-Train, first of all was still using and he was completely oblivious and he wasn't sorry. And also Huey was grieving, but now it's been a while, time has passed. He's fully kind of put to bed the death of his girlfriend, and he's seeing now, more importantly, that A-Train's energy has changed. He's genuinely sorry now. For the first time, he actually is sorry. He is off all the drugs. He's trying to be better. And Huey's picking up on that remorse. And so that's what's making it hard for him to stay mad, is that he's like, damn, like actually you are sorry. I can sense that now. So like I said, if you're actually a normal human being, it's very hard to stay angry and bitter at somebody who you can see is genuinely sorry for what they did, because that's what you want typically, right? You want the remorse. And so, yeah, I'm glad that's kind of put to bed because they do need A-Train. And I think A-Train is still going to help them. Like he's not going to, while Huey won't be able to pull the guilt card again, I think that A-Train's in a position where he does want to help them. He does want to take Homelander down. Like, yeah, he's there. Then we had, who else was there? Frenchie, finally the truth came out, but my man really took way too damn long with it. Like he deserved every punch that guy gave him and then some, honestly. But obviously it's because he was hoping he would take him out. So I'm glad he didn't, because no, Frenchie, you don't get to just leave this earth like that. You don't get to take the easy way out. You need to live with this. You did this because fine, what you did in the past, you didn't have to do that either. But hey, you were under the mob's thumb. Fine, we can give you a few reasons as to why that one could be maybe at some point looked at as okay. But this sleeping with this kid not once but multiple times, knowing, playing with his emotions like that, having him make you breakfast, like, bro, no, I'm sorry. You deserved all those punches. You also deserved the punch in the dick for that too. That was so selfish of you. That was so selfish of you. And I know that Frenchie's not perfect, but it was selfish. And as I said, I can't justify it. Like that was wrong on so many levels. And that kid is going to be so much more effed up now. Like it was bad enough that he had to sit there and hear that his family got taken out and have the survivor's guilt he somehow managed to barely come through. Because again, he's an addict, so he still struggled with that. And now you've given him the additional baggage of knowing that he slept with their killer multiple times and probably actually is half in love with you too. So he's got feelings for you. He's gonna have to work through the fact that he both hates you and wants you. Like, God, no, you deserved all those punches, Frenchie. Like, gross behavior. I don't know. As I said many episodes ago, the best thing he can do is leave him alone. Genuinely and truly leave him alone. Don't ever talk to him. Don't call to him. Do not offer any more apologies. Just leave him alone. If he wants something from you, then you can accommodate. But you don't deserve his forgiveness, and don't you dare demand it from him or demand that he hears your apologies. I just want him to leave him alone at this point. Really and truthfully. So anyway, at least we know the whole story now. We got to hear it from the other guy. But yeah, naughty Frenchie, naughty. I really hope that you can start getting it together, bro, because you're a mess. And then yes, finally on to our boy John, aka Homelander. He decided he is ready to take care of this issue of his humanity. And he feels like the only way he's going to be able to do that is by going back to the beginning, as he puts it, aka where he was raised, where he was formed. And unfortunately, a lot of people had to die. And as I said it in the episode, I honestly don't feel sorry for the people in there, except for maybe the new people, because they were clearly not there when this all happened initially. But I do understand why Homelander felt the way he felt. I think that going back there was really good for us, that as an audience, to kind of see that. I think we forget sometimes, because Homelander is so messed up now and the things that he does are so wrong on every level, that we forget that he was a child, and that even though he's a soup, he is still a human, right? It's still human DNA in there. And seeing that these people stood by while a child, super or not, a child was tortured in order for them to figure out what his limitations were, what his capabilities were, etc., that is where it becomes like more we just get better understanding, really, of why Homelander is the way he is, why he struggles so much with the need for approval, the need for love, the need for connection, but also doesn't trust humans and has such a hatred for them. And so it's important to understand that, because I've always said that a well-crafted villain is one of the best types of storytelling. And I think this show does an excellent job of showing us that Homelander is more than just a bully, that there's a reason he's a bully. And, you know, we have moments like in this episode where you understand and somewhat even feel sorry for him, because no one should have to go through that. As he said, like, yeah, he survived those crazy hot temperatures, but he still feels pain. We know this. Homelander can feel pain, but he can take it better than most, and he heals faster than most, but he still experiences it. And all these things. And then, of course, the psychological pain, right? He said, you would leave me in this room for days, right? Mentally, it's been literally medically proven that as humans, complete isolation will eventually lead to our death. We're social creatures. We need to interact with people. Imagine as a child, you're developing and they're leaving you alone for days on end and not talking to you, not interacting with you. What that would do to your psyche. And like he said, for him, as he got older, he eventually found the only way that he felt good was to do what he was doing. And to have someone come and mock him and shame him really was what it came down to, shaming him for that. That would, again, deeply affect his psyche and sadly create a very unhealthy relationship between him and sex. That's a whole other discussion. But like all these things, these people who stood by, and like he said, like the guy who was the janitor basically at that time, people might say, well, why did he kill the janitor? The janitor he was just shooting hoops in the background, because he looked at that janitor and was like, hey, that janitor heard me screaming. I looked at this man and thought, why is this man seeing me hurt and doing nothing? Why is he more concerned with his paper basketball game than the fact that me, a child, is being roasted alive right now? Right? So when you see it all from his perspective, it is understandable why, like I said, he has this hatred for humans, why he does not trust them, why he does not, why he just can't find it in his heart to believe that they truly have any good intentions or any good intentions towards him. But also he is human. So he can't help the fact that he wants to be loved and accepted by them. Because yes, his other soups he's met, I think Maeve is probably the closest thing to someone that he felt a level of connection with, but it's not the same because Maeve was not there growing up, right? Maeve didn't have the same experience. And Maeve is also kind of part of this othering group that he's in, right? So it's really the humans who, as this woman brought out in this episode, from very early on, they brought in psychologists to get in there and get in his head so deep in his psyche that he needed humans and needed human approval in order to feel okay. between that and the fact that honestly it's just a natural emotion because he is still human. Like I know the show always makes a differentiation between human and Soup, and that's necessary in order for us to know like who's got powers, but it's all human, right? To me, it's all human. His DNA is still human. This human DNA inside of Homelander and all the people on the planet, right? Whether they've got V in their blood or not, sorry. So that in mind, he's still a human, and humans have human needs, human emotions, human thoughts, etc. So Homelander is not that different from the rest of us. There's no reason for him not to have wanted motherly affection, fatherly affection, a sense of family, a sense of acceptance, a sense of pride that had to do with he himself, and most importantly, people to see him for him and not look at him as an experiment or a product or a means to an end. All those things are all natural, and all those needs that he has as a basic human needs or Soup needs are the reason this man is so horribly fractured. And he thought that going back to the people who started it, the people who he remembers like gave him his earliest traumas, he thought that by taking them all out, that this was going to be the end of it, right? This was the last tie to his humanity. The times he felt the most human was inflicted by these people, but it's not. And that's kind of what the woman who was running things, the woman who came back later on, you know, she reminded me a lot of Edgar, though she was not as ballsy. In the end, she was scared. And I think he picked up on it. But digressing, that's what she was basically trying to tell him, is that like, this is futile. Like we did our work. We know we did. We know we succeeded. And the fact that you're here proves that we succeeded. And he really thinks he's not. We heard him, oh, no, I'm different. It's going to end here and I'm going to raise my son that he's different. And that's another thing that triggered him being here, is because he realized that Ryan is not like him and never will be like him. But anyway, in a way, poor Homelander, truthfully, like thinking about it, I think there's a reason they showed us Homelander as an adult. We've not gotten a lot of flashbacks to his childhood, which is good. We don't need to see children go through what he went through. But when you do take away, like I said, the horrificness of what he is now and go back to the child that's inside, that wounded kid that still needs mama's milk and who still wants to be coddled and breastfed because he's just so incredibly broken, it is sad. It's really genuinely sad that no one looked at him at any point and thought, wow, that's a kid. So anyway, super sad in that regard. But yeah, all those people down there, as I said, with the exception of the new people who had nothing to do with it directly, they kind of deserved it, honestly, because I agree with Homelander. The fact that you did do your job and you didn't even just leave if you couldn't stop it, that says a lot about you. Now, one woman is now locked down there for God knows how long with all those bodies, so that's pretty horrifying. So at least he left her with that. But yeah, we're else to see where he goes from here. Because I do believe her, though. I don't think Homelander is any more over his humanity than when he went. But, you know, he needed to do something with all of that anger and that frustration. And we all know that he gets destructive when that happens. So that's super sad. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it for the episode. The big mystery is obviously what the hell happened to Billy? What can he do? What is he capable of? Is that thing that's moving around really happening? Or is that just a manifestation for him as well? And is it somehow tied to these visions he keeps seeing with Becca? Lots of questions there. I think that's it. Those are the main ones, I think, where we're going to go from here. Because, yeah, the Starlight's kind of burned now for now. So, yeah, everyone's taking a step back. And, yeah, Huey's dad. How is Huey's dad going to be now? Big questions. We need answers. Good episode, guys. Another good episode. I enjoyed it. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching along with me. If you did, please show some love. And I will see you in the next one.